everyone, Simplified Education welcomes you all on this platform where you can do the preparation of various teaching exams. You can join our Telegram channel and Facebook page with the link given below into the description box. And if you understand my teaching, then please subscribe my channel so that you will be notified with my upcoming videos. As you all know, we are dealing with the research aptitude. It is useful for UGC NET and SET exam paper 1 unit 2. In this video, we are going to study application of ICT in research. This topic is newly added into the UGC NET syllabus, so chances are quite more to have the questions based on this topic. So please watch this video till end. ICT stands for Information Communication Technology. Now the question is that why we should use the ICT? As we all know, information communication technology, that is technology, always helps us to reduce the human efforts and even reduces the time taken for its completion. Means for the growth and development purpose, in all the fields we use the technology, that is ICT. Now we have to focus that in the research how ICT is useful. If we study the complete process of research, at every steps ICT plays very important role. Means we can say that it helps us for the researcher for its ability to ease the knowledge gathering process and to enhance the resource development, or we can say with the help of various applications of ICT, it increases the effectiveness and efficiency in the work. So ICT had effects on many facets of the research, and that can be classified into the three categories. Application of ICT in research. In earlier we have seen steps of research, 8 steps of research we have seen. That 8 steps of research I have condensed here into the 3 steps of research to understand its use of the ICT. Step 1, that is called as pre-data analysis, means from the selection of the research problem till data collection, whatever process we are going to perform, that is called as the information gathering. We have called it as a pre-data analysis. Step number 2, that is now we have collected the data. So second step is that data analysis and synthesis. After data analysis, we are going to make some kind of interpretations and inferences. That is our step number 2. And last is the step number 3, that is called as the post data analysis. Means whatever analysis we have done, we are going to make the documentation of the results and we are going to give the citation. That is last concluding step number 3. Now first step, ICT application in pre-data analysis. Which are the processes included in that? First we will see literature search or thesis and dissertation availability. Second is the content search. Third is the literature tracking, and fourth is the data collection. As we know, data collection can be done by the 2 ways, qualitative and quantitative. So in these 4 steps, how different tools of ICTs we are going to use, that we are going to study now. First is the literature search. At present, a lot of research material and literature can be searched using the internet search engines and databases. For example, Google. So with the help of Google search engine, we can search all the kinds of variety of information which is available. So in the case of research, we are going to see the few tools which are specifically made for the research. First is the Shodhganga, or we can say Shodh Gangotri. Now this is the platform used for the research students, where that research student can submit their thesis, and along with that whatever earlier research work has been done, they can go through that thesis work, and it is applicable for our India country. So we can say Indian Thesis Repository, where you can search and download the thesis, and it is operated by the InfibNet, that is called as the Indian Government Portal. So this is very popularly known and commonly used, Shodhganga. Then next is the Google Scholar. Now Google Scholar, if we compare it with the Shodhganga, this is modified version, or we can say it is having the broader coverage area. means it provides a way to broadly search for scholarly literature across the discipline and sources. Means here we can go through the research work or the thesis submission from any corner of the world. This Shodhaganga was applicable for only India, and this Google Scholar platform, it can be used for the worldwide. Then third one is the Microsoft Academic Search. Now these platforms is very much useful for the information about academic papers, authors, conferences, journals and organization from the multiple sources. Then fourth is the Mendeley. This Mendeley software, you can say that this is the multitasking. Means this is the unique platform comprising of the social network, reference manager. Means here in the case of references also we are going to use this software, and article visualization tools. So this Mendeley is having the versatile nature. Then SSRN. SSRN is specifically used for the social sciences subject. Means if your research problem is associated with any subject from the social sciences, then specifically you can go for the SSRN, that is multidisciplinary online repository for scholarly research and related material into the social sciences. So this was the platform for the literature search. Then second step into the pre-data analysis, that is called as the content search. Content search simply tells the researcher value of its content. We can say content search enables a researcher to evaluate quickly whether a particular thesis or the article is worthy for his deeper review or not. That is called as the content search. Then third step, that is literature tracking. We have seen that number of softwares we can use for the literature review. So whatever literature review is done by the researcher, that researcher has to keep its proper record or proper track with the help of spreadsheet or the Word document. For what purpose it is going to keep the record? For managing their reviewed literature so that it can be reused or it can be referred into the future. So literature tracking also plays very important role after review of the literature. Fourth is data collection. Now how ICT is going to help into the data collection? So these are the two platforms, Google Forms and SurveyMonkey. These are the two very popularly known and frequently used software for the data collection. Suppose the researcher is going to use the questionnaire or the test paper, whatever tool he is using. So that questionnaire is going to fill on this Google Forms or the SurveyMonkey, and with the help of that link, all the respondents are going to fill up the information and they are going to submit their form, and with the help of that, researcher is going to get the desired data collection. So with this help, with these two softwares, we are going to make the data collection very easy and very quickly, we can say. So these are the four steps we have seen into the pre-data analysis. Now second step, that is called as the data analysis. Now as we know, data collection is done by two ways, qualitative data collection and quantitative data collection. So here also data analysis we are going to perform on the same platform. So first we are going to see quantitative data analysis. Now into the quantitative data analysis, which are the ICT tools we can use, I have listed here. I have given here 7 ICT tools, but it is not like that only 7 ICT tools we can use. There are many more ICT tools, but I have mentioned only 7. So first is the SPSS, that is Statistical Package for the Social Sciences. It is very much advanced and rich with a lot of features and functionalities. Then second, that is R. This is free software for the environment for statistical computing and graphics, and it provides the wide range of statistical and graphical techniques, and it is highly extensible also. Then third is the MATLAB, that is used for the mathematical work. Then fourth, that is Microsoft Excel. We all are very much aware of the Excel sheet, how we can arrange the quantitative data into the Excel sheet. Then fifth, that is called as the statistical analysis software. As we are dealing with the quantitative data, means we are dealing with the numbers. So whatever numerical data we are having, we are going to use it into the statistical analytical analysis software. Then GraphPad Prism. What is the speciality of this? It contains the 8 different types of the data tables, specially formatted for the analysis whichever you want to run, and it makes the easier to enter the data and even more correctly also. Then 7, that is the Minitab software you can use. So these are the 7 softwares which we can use for the quantitative data analysis. Now second, that is qualitative data analysis. So first tool which we can use, that is called as the NVivo. Then NVivo is what? It has been designed for the qualitative research working with very rich text based or the multimedia information where the deep level of analysis of the data is required. And second, that is Atlas. Third, Maxcoda. This Maxcoda, this is the alternative for the NVivo, and which can also handle the similar range of data type, allowing the observation, color coding, etc. Then fourth ICT tool, that is SPSS text analysis. We know what is the meaning of SPSS. And fifth one, that is called as the Transna. So these are the 5 ICT tools we can use for the qualitative data analysis. So this was all about the quantitative data analysis and the qualitative data analysis. We are not going to study all these tools in details, but just for the reference you are going to remember. Last year the question was asked that SPSS is used in which step. So you should know that SPSS is used into the quantitative data analysis. For that purpose you are going to remember these names of the ICT tools. Then third step, that is ICT application into the post data analysis. Now we have collected the information, we have analyzed the data even. Now we are going to make the final conclusion and we are going to give the citations. So which are the steps into that? First, that is references and bibliography compilation. Then second, article and thesis discussion amongst the researchers, supervisors and supervising. This is also very important step. Then third, that is plagiarism detection. Means whether you have stolen some kind of information or whatever research work is done, that is just by your own, that we are going to check. And fourth and last, that is journal manuscript submission. Means here you are going to submit your thesis. Now all these 4 steps we are going to study how the different ICT tools you can use. First, that is references and bibliography compilation. Now this work, if you are going to perform it manually, it is very tedious work. But with the help of these softwares or the ICT tools, it is becoming very much easily. Which are the ICT tools for that? First is the EndNote, then second is the Zotero, and third is the Mendeley. Mendeley we have seen earlier also. As I have told you, this is multitasking. With the help of these softwares, what we are going to do? Suppose I have prepared my whole thesis writing material, and suppose as per my university I have to go with the MLA style. Then whatever is the content I have collected, I am going to enter into this software, and that software only going to arrange all the material into the MLA format. So this is very much easier work with the help of these ICT tools. This is how the ICT is going to helping us into the research work. Then second step, that is article and thesis discussion. There are online platforms or the website with which we can use such kind of discussion. So which are the two? That is academia.edu and second is the ResearchGate. These two are very popularly known platforms on which we are going to have such kind of research discussion can be done. Third is the plagiarism detection. Whenever a researcher is going to write down the thesis, he has to give the solid evidences against the anti-plagiarism, and for that anti-plagiarism, which are the softwares given by the ICT? First is the Grammarly, second Article Checker, third Turnitin, fourth is the Duplichecker. So we can use any of this. How that researcher is going to use that? Whatever writing material he has collected, suppose he is using the Grammarly, so whatever writing material is there, he is going to upload that writing material on the Grammarly.com, and that Grammarly.com, this software is going to check whether this kind of material is already available somewhere else or not, and on the basis of that he is going to give us the result in the percentage format, that how much is the percentage plagiarism detected or not. So that is how we are going to use the plagiarism detection. Fourth is the journal manuscript submission. This is the last step where you are going to make the submission of the thesis. So which are the platforms given by the ICT? Elsewhere, Wiley and SAGE publications. All these are the very popularly known and very frequently used platforms or the software we can say. So any of these you can use for your submission of the thesis. So with the help of 3 steps of research, that is pre-data, data analysis and post-data analysis, I have listed some kind of ICT tools which we can use. Apart from this also there is a long list of ICT application which can be used for the qualitative research paper and the thesis. So I hope you have understood this topic. Thanks for watching this video. If you have any question, you can ask into the comment box, and very shortly we will meet with the next video that will be based on the research ethics. Till then, stay with us.